Hi everyone, I'm Abigail Davidson with Sotheby's International Realty. Today we are at home in Santa Fe with Jennifer Cervantes. Jennifer is a New York Times best-selling author, and we are going to be with Jennifer and seeing her home and talking to her about her process in writing. Also, wanted to let you know that this coming Friday, May 26th, Jen will be signing her new book at Collected Works in Santa Fe at 6 p.m. The book is The Enchanted Hacienda. Jennifer is well known for her young adult fiction. This is her first adult fiction book, and it's all infused with magic. So come, let's speak with Jennifer. We're in Santa Fe. You are a New Mexico writer. I'm curious how you approached this book. I'm curious about the life of a creative person. What fuels you here?
Well, that's a lot of questions, Abby. But let me start with the easiest part of that, which is New Mexico has always had a sense of magic and enchantment. I think that we have earned our nickname, the Land of Enchantment. And I feel that very strongly, and that feeds my creativity in a really powerful way, whether it is, the horizon, the mesas, the sunset, the clouds, the forest, the low desert, whatever part of New Mexico I happen to be in, it absolutely feeds my process. And setting is so important to me in all of my books, to the point where they feel somewhat like a character. So it doesn't surprise me that that is the case. And when I'm on the road, I do struggle more with the writing process. So for me, I need the magic of what we have here in the state.
And where did you write this book, this latest book?
So that book came to me when I was in Las Cruces, and I wrote most of it there, but then I went through the entire editorial process here, and in part also in Mexico. So I was able to combine, several places depending on the process that the book was in.
And this home and this light, working here, does that infuse your writing? Does the outside, all these gorgeous trees and hills and mountains and blue sky of New Mexico, does that inspire you? Where do you find all of that?
Well, so when we purchased this home, I can very clearly remember walking into the entry and seeing the beautiful views and seeing the light pouring in through the floor-to-ceiling windows. And it was like the house wrapped itself around me and said, "Welcome home." And I knew, and I truly knew, I think that this is going to be the place. And so for me, being here in New Mexico, I feel like it allows me this excavation process because of the peace, because of the quiet, because of the cultural setting, because of the nature. There's something really special and magical about our state that I haven't found anywhere else.
Well, they do say that God is everywhere, but his mailing address is northern New Mexico.
I love that. I agree, right?
You are very well known for your young adult fiction, and this is your first adult book. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about that and how this came to be, going across age categories, and if that was something that was intentional, or is it something that just kind of happened in magic?
Yeah, so I love this question because it speaks a little bit to my process as a writer. I did not come up with a career strategy to write an adult book. I did not say, I think I'm going to try an adult book now. My books come to me in first scenes always. And the first scene is so compelling that I have to know more about that character, why they're doing this thing, what's going on, why am I sensing grief or sadness or joy or whatever it is. So the first thing that came to me for this book was its setting. And the sun was, drifting downward in the horizon. There were golden hills. There was a sea of flowers. And I knew there was enchantment in the soil. And I wanted to know who cultivated these flowers, who took, who grew them, who lived on this farm, where did the enchantment come from? And it possessed me to such a degree that I knew I had to write the book. And it just happened that as the book began to unfold in an organic way, I knew that it was going to be an adult novel. Well, my favorite days are those that I'm in flow, and it goes really beautifully, because I have really bad days too where I'm not necessarily in flow, but I'm a morning writer. I edit as I go. I don't really turn in sloppy drafts, and I will always take a break to go hiking because it really rejuvenates me. It gets me out of my own head for a while and out of the story. And you wouldn't believe how many story ideas come to me when I'm hiking up Atalaya Mountain or when I'm up Sun and Moon Mountain. It's astonishing what nature does for the creative spirit. And I always have to have that element of exercise to get my body moving. Otherwise, I'm just staring at the screen and it becomes a nightmare. Yeah.
So it's all that wonderful air coming to you, and the ideas come.
Yeah, they really
and
do.
And nature.
Yeah, absolutely. And George O'Keeffe used to always take walks, and Mary Oliver, the great poet, was always, I would listen to her interviews. She had one on PBS, and she talked about how she would go out her back gate and walk through the forest, and I was always so jealous of that. And I thought, I want a gate with a forest.
And now you have that.
And now I have it. Manifestation.
Well, let's go see where you write.
Okay.
We know where the ideas come from, the magic and the outdoors and nature. Let's see what your writing studio is like.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
So this is the space where I write, and what I loved about it was all of the light. And so what's interesting is people will come over and they'll say, Jennifer, you have your chair positioned in the wrong direction. And I tell them, if I'm looking at that forest, then the trails are calling me and I'm gonna go hiking and I'm not gonna do my job. So I have to keep my back to the woods, otherwise I won't get anything done at all. But I do love to lie down on the bench there. I don't think we allow ourselves enough time to daydream. And here in New Mexico, we have such beautiful skies and such beautiful clouds. And so I do allow myself time every day to just daydream.
Wonderful.
And do nothing.
Just to kind of let all that happen.
And we should all be doing it.
And we should all be doing
Yes.
it. We should. And I can see how this room allows you the space and the air to do that.
Yeah, I love it.
You know?
Yeah.
The desk, it's just, and focused this way.
Yes.
And all of that happens behind you.
Yes. And there's a simplicity to it. I need a space that is not cluttered, that is very simple in nature, because otherwise my head gets cluttered, and as a storyteller, I become cluttered.
So when you come in here, it's this simple, this ready for you.
Yes, always. Yeah.
Well, now that we're in here, tell us what projects you're working on.
Well, I can actually tell you, in the publishing industry, everything is top secret. And they make us keep these secrets that are just, they're soul-sucking because we want to tell the whole world. But one was announced yesterday, as a matter of fact. I have a new middle grade series coming out with HarperCollins. And it's called Daggers of Ire. Thank you. And it is filled with magic and all kinds of mythology that I created, because I've worked in Mesoamerican mythology on other books, but I really wanted to create my own mythology this time. So it was really challenging, and I wrote the entire book here in this room. I do not move around. And I have, perhaps we're going to be following a sister or a cousin from the Enchanted Hacienda. There's a whole cast of women in that book, and they all deserve their own story. And then I have a top secret project that I cannot talk about yet, that I'm hoping is going to be announced in a couple of months, maybe. So I'm going to be busy for the next few years.
Well, there you have a few state secrets and an amazing, amazing career.
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And so glad to have you in Santa Fe.
I'm so happy to be here.